Princess Dewberry walked outside and saw her father, the king, hop onto a horse. She gasped. "Where is he going?" she asked. She watched sadly as her father left the kingdom. After his horse had gone through the front gate, the gates closed. It was expected they remained closed until he returned. Princess Dewberry was very sad. "Why did he leave?" she asked. The princess sucked in her breath and walked to the gates. When there, she was warned that she could go no further. "Gatekeeper, why did my father have to leave?" she asked. "Oh, hello, Princess Dewberry," cheered the gatekeeper. "Your father has gone to fight a war," he added. "He will return in 2 days." "May I follow him?" asked the Princess Dewberry. "Most certainly not," gasped the gatekeeper. "A war is no place for a child," he added. Princess Dewberry sighed. "But I shall miss him," she muttered as she glared at the gatekeeper with sorrow inside of her eyes. "We shall all miss him," told the gatekeeper. "However, he shall return," he muttered. You'll see, he shall." Princess Dewberry sighed. She then moved back to the castle where she could sit with her mother in the weaving room. She planned to make her father a blanket with the most beautiful of threads. She wanted to ensure that she made him one that was so soft it would make him fall asleep as soon as she crawled under it. She wanted it to make him sleep so that he would never be able to leave again. 2 days later the king returned. He hailed his triumph, and everyone was happy. As soon as he met Princess Dewberry, he gave her a hug. She, in return, gave him a blanket. "I made this for you," she muttered. "Just what I need," gasped the king in a manner that was proud. "I must take some rest, for I have been fighting hard, and am very tired," he added. Princess Dewberry smiled. She then watched the king retire to his room with her blanket close to his chest. Princess Dewberry smiled. She was sure he would never wake up again. 3 days passed, and the kingdom began to worry. The king hadn't woken. He was sound asleep, unable to flutter an eyelid. Every person in the kingdom began to shake their heads. They were so worried that he had taken ill, despite the fact that he had no illness on his face. The people in his kingdom began to talk, and the queen sent for a doctor. A doctor arrived, and he looked at the king. He could find no traces of sickness, and he shook his head. "It is a mystery," muttered the doctor. "Perhaps we need a priest," he questioned. "A priest?" questioned the queen. "What will a priest do?" "Revive his soul," told the doctor, before he packed his bag. "I shall fetch a good one," he promised, before he walked out the door. The queen was very worried. She tried to shake the king awake, but he would not wake. She bit on her nails, and then she clasped her hands. "Let him wake," she whispered. 2 days later the priest arrived. He looked over the king. However, he could find no demon spirit. The king seemed to be sound asleep. Nothing more. "Perhaps a fairy can solve the riddle," he suggested to the queen, who looked pale with grief. "Anything is worth a try," she muttered. "I shall send them to you. They shall arrive tonight," he promised. "Thank you," muttered the queen. At midnight the fairies arrived. They looked over the king and became worried. He was under no spell. The queen began to sob. "It's useless," she cried out. Princess Dewberry felt bad that she had played a naughty trick. She walked up to the bed and told her mother to look. As soon as she captured her mother's attention, she lifted the blanket off the bed. Immediately, the king woke. "Where's my blankie?" he asked as he twitched his eyes to and fro. It was the blanket that had kept him asleep, told Princess Dewberry. The queen gushed, and she threw herself over the king. "What a smart child we have," she sobbed. The king smiled, and then he looked to the princess and eyed the blanket. He told the guards to bring it to him. The guards did so. The king pulled the blanket over him and his sleeping wife. Very soon they fell asleep, and the kingdom gasped. "It was the blanket," cried a fairy. "I can't believe it," she gasped. "How did you know?" she asked Princess Dewberry. "I had made the blanket for the king as a gift. I had wanted him to sleep forever and had made it extra soft," she confessed. "What a naughty trick," told the fairy before she pointed a finger at the blanket. "Make the softness of this blanket disappear," she commanded. The blanket immediately grew coarse. Soon the king and queen began to wake, with frowns on their faces. "The blanket shall now only be a blanket," told the fairy. "It shall not keep you asleep," she added before she nodded for her fairy sisters to depart. The king and queen grumbled. Then they looked to Princess Dewberry. "Make me another blanket," ordered the king. Princess Dewberry smiled, and then she moved to the weaving room. This time she made a fantastic blanket that had an abundance of colors, and yet was soft enough to make the queen and king feel comfortable, but not so comfortable that they might sleep forever. As soon as Princess Dewberry had finished weaving the blanket, the king took it and went to bed. There he and his wife had a comfortable sleep, and after a while they were able to wake feeling good, but not so good as to want to continue to sleep. Just comfortable enough to make them smile. "What a marvelous daughter we have," told the king. "I agree," told the queen. "She is marvelous." She smiled before she began to wonder if Princess Dewberry would be able to make her a dress.
Do you love your pancake? Do you really love your pancake? Really? Well, time's up. Jam Factory is closing its pancake parlor after 20 years. No more pancakes.